Welcome to the Intuitive Hour with psychic medium, author, and intuitive life coach, Michelle Beltran. The Intuitive Hour will empower you to learn how to magnify your intuitive voice. Listen in and expand your understanding of what it means to be psychic and how to awaken, amplify, and trust your inner voice.
And welcome everyone from wherever you are on the planet today. We're talking about the power of dowsing, the types of dowsing, what it is, how to create a dowsing tool, history of it, and so forth. A very ancient practice, often viewed through a lens of mysticism, and that has intrigued and captivated spiritual enthusiasts for centuries. So it's been around a while. All right, so what exactly is dowsing? At its core, I would describe it as a method of seeking answers, getting insight, locating objects, all through the use of a dowsing tool. Usually it's a rod, could be a simple stick, and sometimes it's a pendulum. Dowsers believe that these tools act as extensions of their subconscious mind, allowing them to tap into hidden knowledge and energies through the rod or the stick or the pendulum. So let's talk about the types of dowsings. There are actually several forms, each with its own unique approach and tools. The most popular, though, are the pendulum dowsing, which involves using a simple pendulum to get a yes or no answer or to locate objects. The rod dowsing, which uses L-shaped or Y-shaped rods to find underground water, minerals, or other hidden terms, and to also get answers to questions. And then we have map dowsing, a form of remote dowsing, or a pendulum or rod is used over a map to locate objects or places. And so where would you get a dowsing tool? Interestingly enough, you can make one if you choose, or you can simply buy one at a metaphysical store or an online spiritual marketplace of some kind. The most important aspect to your dowsing tool is that the tool resonates with you. You'll feel a bond or a connection. It vibrates and resonates with your intuitive subconscious soul self. So tune into that. Some dowsers believe that handcrafted pendulums or rods made from crystals perform a little bit better, while others, though, opt for the more simple kind of metal rod. It's entirely up to you, but you'll have a sense of knowing of the dowsing tool that actually speaks to you. Just a little bit here on history of dowsing. The origins actually date all the way back to many thousands of years. We have ancient texts and cave paintings that depict early humans using dowsing-like methods. So throughout history, dowsing has truly been employed for various purposes, locating water sources, as I mentioned, and minerals, and finding lost objects. Very notable figures, interestingly enough, Leonardo da Vinci and Thomas Edison are actually rumored to have experimented with dowsing techniques throughout life. Dowsing is a natural, intuitive skill anyone can learn. One of the most compelling aspects of dowsing is that it's just innate and it's accessible. Anyone can do it. Our subconscious mind is so incredibly powerful, as you know, and with practice, you can learn to harness this intuitive ability. Dowsing can be seen actually as a form of communication between the conscious and the subconscious. In some ways, it's a bit like automatic writing, and it makes for a valuable tool for your personal growth and your discovery into your own intuitive self. All right, so expanding a little bit here about why we would dowse. There's a lot of benefits to dowsing beyond just locating hidden objects or resources. And so for many, it actually serves as a means to enhance personal intuition and connect more deeply with their subconscious mind. By practicing dowsing, you might find that you can make more informed decisions, more clarity intuitively, gain insights into issues that may not be immediately obvious to you. In addition, dowsing can augment your spiritual practice. It can bring tangible ways to access inner wisdom and higher guidance. And interestingly, for those of you interested in health and wellness, dowsing can actually be used to identify areas of energetic imbalance in the body. This allows for much more targeted and effective healing practices. And ultimately, dowsing then becomes a versatile tool that can enrich all aspects of your life, starting with your health, but rippling forward into problem-solving, decision-making, and just having an overall higher vibration sense of spiritual and emotional well-being as you navigate your day and life. All right, so one of the questions I actually had as I was learning about dowsing was, what is the difference between dowsing and the pendulum? And so, while dowsing and the pendulum are often mentioned together, they are actually very distinctly different. They have practices that are unique to each method. Dowsing, though, would typically involve the tool that we've talked about, the rod or the Y-shaped branches, which move in response to unseen energies or vibrations when you're searching for water or minerals or hidden substances. The dowser holds the rods in front of them as they walk over an area, and the rods will either cross or separate to indicate the presence of the resource. But on the other hand, the pendulum, it's a little bit different. It uses or involves suspending a weighted object. As many of us know, typically it's a crystal or a metal weight, and it's from a chain or string that it dangles. So the pendulum, though, is held stationary over a chart or a specific area and just allowed to swing freely. The direction and movement of the pendulum is interpreted to answer yes or no questions. It provides guidance and it does locate objects, but it's limited to the yes or no. So this practice is more focused on receiving direct answers from the subconscious mind rather than locating physical resources in the environment. Both methods tap into intuitive faculties, but they are applied in different contexts and require distinct types of interpretations. Dowsing is largely about the interaction with the physical world, while the pendulum delves into more abstract, metaphysical realms. So you might think of the difference like that. All right, so let's talk a little bit now about questions when you use dowsing. This is important. You want to be mindful of specific questions that are unambiguous. So, for example, instead of asking, "Will I be successful?" you might instead ask, "Will I achieve my current career goals within the next 6 months?" So unambiguous questions are not helpful. Be concise, be brief, one sentence only if you can. And remember that you can ask questions regarding health, career, finances, far beyond just locating lost objects or looking for minerals in the earth. When it comes to health, things like, is my current diet beneficial for my health? Is there a specific supplement I need to take? In terms of career, is now the right time to ask for a promotion, for example, or is this job opportunity aligned with my career goals? Financially speaking, is it a good time to make a major purchase such as buying a home? Should I invest in this particular stock or asset? And then name the asset. So those are just some example questions, but the most important thing is to be concise. Also remember that interpreting dowsing requires patience and practice. Remember that staying relaxed is utmost as you approach a dowsing session. Be calm and have an open mind. You know now to ask specific, precise questions. And then remember to practice regularly. We don't just do this once and become an expert, right? So we need to practice consistently, and that improves your connection actually with your dowsing tool. Remember to journal your sessions, keep a record and notes of the answers that you get. And the reason for this is because you may not know or understand the answer once you receive it. Also, journaling helps you to track patterns, and so over time, you're much more accurate with this tool. All right, moving on here. I'd like to talk about your dowsing rods. Once you get them, how to hold them and use them in a session. So here are 5 steps for you on that. First and foremost, here we want to make sure that you've chosen the right rods. As I've mentioned earlier, it really needs to speak to you. There are various types of dowsing rods. There are L rods, Y rods. As you choose which, remember to select that type that feels the most comfortable to you. And that may be that you just notice it fits well in your hand and your size of hand. The second thing, when you're using your dowsing rods, relax your grip. There's a tendency to hold on tight or try to make it happen. You don't need to do that. This is bigger than you. This is your subconscious working through you into your body, through your hands and the rods. Allow that to happen. Relax your grip. Hold the rods lightly in your hands with your palms facing upwards. Facing upwards is a receptive, open position. It's a relaxed position. Be there. Make sure that the rod can move freely and isn't restricted by a tight grip. Number 3, maintain a neutral position in your body. Your body's connected to your hands. So when you're standing or sitting, you will have your back straight and upright, meeting this moment in dignity. But you're neutral. Your feet are shoulder width apart. Again, you're relaxed. You're keeping your elbows close to your sides, not far out, and you're allowing your arms to form a roughly 90-degree angle, a gentle 90-degree angle that is. Again, maintaining a neutral position. 4, and this is a biggie, focus your intention. Clear your mind and concentrate on the question or area you're dowsing for. This mental focus is profound and it is key to guiding the rods effectively. And last, make sure that you observe the movement. Watch for any movement in the rods, be it subtle or more profound. The rods may cross, diverge. They may point in a certain direction to indicate answers or locations. So by following these simple 5 steps, it's going to help you ensure that your dowsing practice is effective and insightful. All right, everyone. Two more things I'd like to talk about regarding dowsing and troubleshooting, if you will, some questions that might come up. You might notice that as you're dowsing, your rods are spinning around in circles. Very often students will ask me, well, why are my rods spinning? So if your dowsing rods are spinning in circles, one possibility is that your question might be too vague or unclear. This can lead to ambiguous movements from the rods. So make sure to ask that specific, concise, one-sentence question we spoke about earlier, and you're going to then receive more straightforward, clear responses. Alternatively, the circular motion might signify that there's a high level of energy or strong presence in the environment, which could be affecting the rods. Sometimes weather can do this. Another reason could be that you are unknowingly influencing the rods. The movement through subtle hand motions or body language can impact the rods that you're not realizing you're doing. So it's really important to stay as still and relaxed as possible during your dowsing session to prevent any of this unintentional interference. And lastly, spinning rods can sometimes point to the need for what we call recalibration or grounding of your energies. So, taking a few moments to center yourself can truly help stabilize the readings, the movement of the rod, and stop the spinning of the circles. All right, what if you get strange responses? Okay, this can happen, receiving strange or unexpected responses during a dowsing session can be a little bit perplexing, but it's important to remain calm and continue in the methodical approach. First, consider rephrasing your question to ensure that they're clear and specific, as we've talked about. Vague or overly complex questions, even on the other end of the scale, can lead to confusing and unclear answers and responses, or strange responses, if you will, from your dowsing rod. Additionally, the environment, again, distractions or interferences, weather, people nearby, animals nearby, sometimes that can affect the dowsing tool. We can also have electronic devices present that are on. I would suggest definitely putting your cell phone aside and anything else that's electronic that carries energy, as does strong emotional energy. So there could be someone near that's carrying a lot of emotion. Even animals can do this, so be mindful of that, who's near and with you and where their energy is. Oftentimes it is best to do this solo or with someone who really has tuned into their emotional balance and is ready for this session. It's also really beneficial to reassess your physical and mental state as you douse. Ensure that you're relaxed and focused and in a positive mindset. If you're tired, even just being tired or restless can affect this. Sometimes unusual, strange responses can also indicate a need for that recalibration as well. You might need to just take a break and recenter yourself. Also, maintaining a journal of your dowsing sessions, including the context and any anomalies, can really, down the road, give you valuable insight. Just the same way our dreams work. If we're journaling our dreams, we write them down, but we don't always know in that moment the meaning of the dream, but later that day or even a week later, that aha moment comes. So make sure that you're tracking whatever's coming through, particularly if it's odd or strange. That actually could over time be a message to you. All right, everyone, in conclusion, as we wind down this episode on dowsing, this ancient practice with modern relevance, whether you're seeking guidance in health, career, or finances, this is an intuitive skill that is so valuable, gives us direction, insight. Remember that it is available to everyone. It's a natural ability waiting to be unlocked. I hope that today's episode has inspired you to explore the power of dowsing further. As always, for any questions that you have on this topic or any other topic or episode, please reach out at mbeltran@michellebeltran.com. I've enjoyed this session with you today, and I look forward to meeting with you all next week.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Intuitive Hour, please consider following, rating, and reviewing the podcast at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. You're welcome to access Michelle's free controlled remote viewing exercise that will empower you to uncover answers to your burning questions about lost objects, events, or people in the past, present, or future. Visit michellebeltran.com to access this free offering and rediscover what was once lost.